Hi everybody, it's Fran's 4 on Fridays. We're at Wilstead Manor and we are with Bruce from Grass Landscaping. Hi Bruce. We're back outdoors, not just because it's spring and it's landscaping, but because the weather cooperated. And so now we can be, how many lawnmowers do you think apart are we?
1.5.
1.5? Well, he's way taller. So
He's the rider, so it's a bit bigger.
Suffice it to say, we are properly distanced, and he's really tall, so I've got to be out here. Okay, Bruce, you've been such a good sport. Are you ready for your first question?
Yes.
Okay, number one, landscaping. What is the one thing that everybody should do to their yard?
One thing that everyone should do is make sure they have proper drainage, because if your slope is going towards your house, you're euchred. You got to make sure the slope goes away always. We run into that issue a lot. Okay,
so make sure you have proper drainage. Windsor is on a floodplain, so that would make sense. Okay, what is the best thing you should do to your lawn? Like, what's the biggest hack? I know in Windsor we have certain problems with mosquitoes or possums, so what's the biggest problem in Windsor and what's the biggest hack for it?
The biggest problem seems to be grubs. I find a lot of grubs in Windsor. It seems to be, I replace a lot of sod jobs and it's always because of the grubs. And then once I'm in there digging, it's just packed full of them. So we just, we call it Weed Man pretty much, Mr. Goodlawn, and they have the proper treatments for that.
Okay, I would have never known about grubs at all. Never known about that. Okay, so third question would be, what's the biggest thing to avoid when it comes to your lawn? Like, what's the one thing you roll up on somebody's lawn, you look at the landscape and you go, oh my God.
The biggest thing I find people do with their landscapes is they're putting in all small plants, so they just put everything way too close to each other, and then once they grow, everything just it clashes together. You got to make sure everything's separated properly and has a nice flow to it. It makes a world of a difference.
Okay, so make sure you plant it not just for what it is at that size, but what it's going to be.
It's going to be in the future, because that's what matters.
Okay, number 4, what's the difference between like landscaping and grass maintenance?
Grass maintenance, I come to your property, I cut, I trim. Sometimes I do the aeration, it depends on the client. And it's pretty much just cutting the lawn. And then landscaping is I design the beds, I install plant material, do edging, full grade, sod jobs. I pretty much do anything when it comes to the outdoor work. Okay, heavy lifting. Okay, here's my surprise question for you. Favorite plant, favorite flower? What's your absolute favorite you cannot get enough of? Tree, bush, what do you absolutely love? For tree, I love the tricolor beech. It just gets so big and beautiful and all the different colors. That's definitely my favorite. And I also am a fan of burning bush.
Really?
Just the bright redness that comes in the fall, it's stunning.
My favorite is a Japanese maple.
Yeah.
Because it's just so intense. Yeah, it is.
Them a lot.
I love them. Anyways, you guys like, share, ask any questions. It's spring. He's got your answers. And we'll tag him so he can answer those questions for you. And thanks so much. We'll see you next Friday. Thanks again, Bruce.
Thank you.